Well, good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or those are really the only times that we have in a day. So, if you're listening any other time than that, then you've transported to another dimension or something, which is interesting because that's something we we don't talk about on this episode. I forgot it's in another one. So. Welcome to what for now is called the 2Thirds podcast, and I'm Jeremy, and this is our first episode that we've ever posted. We hope that we can do several of these, but the plan is that me and my friend Shane, we wanted to talk about. We love talking about comics. We love talking about movies. We love talking about video games and all of this stuff, and we felt like maybe some of the stuff we said, other people might want to, listen and maybe participate in the conversation in some way. And so we decided to start a podcast. So we got together, and our friend Oscar decided, we sort of made him join in, hence it being 2/3. 2/3 of us are invested in this project, and one of them just doesn't really care, but he's there, which is fine. So, our first episode, the thing you're about to listen to is, we, in 3 days, I think, Avengers comes out, the new Avengers movie, and we wanted to, just kind of talk about what we thought about it, and kind of make some predictions, and just kind of, talk about it. And so we thought we would, sit down and record it, and then, and see what we come up with, and so, yeah, that was really it. So I hope you enjoy it. Please stick around till the end, because by the end, Oscar finally warms up a little bit, and he gets really hilarious when he gets angry, and so we caught some of that, and that's great. So I think that is it. So stay tuned. Don't change that channel. There's no such thing as channels. I don't know why I said that. So. All right, that's it.
You're talking about Brienne.
No, I'm talking about Braun, which is why I said Braun.
Sorry, I didn't know his name. Sorry. Damn.
You don't have to be so mean about it.
I'm sorry. That's true.
It's okay though. Hey, you turn the TV down?
Do I need to be closer to center? It looks like here might be better. Or maybe further back.
No, closer is good. Unless you're more comfy laying down.
No, I'm more comfy like this.
Not laying down. That would be weird. Just like
what, the Burt Reynolds lounge?
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Is Ryan Reynolds related to Burt Reynolds?
No. I think Reynolds is fairly popular.
Name a third person with the last name Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds. Norm. Sorry. I don't know. I was thinking of... For some reason, I had Norm Macdonald in my head.
He played Burt Reynolds in the Jeopardy thing.
Yes, I think that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. He's chewing the gum. He's like, "Hey,
yeah,
look."
No, scrap it.
Yeah,
related. Mm-hmm. Look at the silly hat I found.
Like another famous person named Reynolds.
Just somebody else with the last name Reynolds. Like y'all made the really strong claim that's a common name.
I wouldn't be like I'm not like, oh, that's a really peculiar name. I think Reynolds is just Reynolds. I think Smith is a fairly popular name, but I can't think of another Smith.
John Smith.
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Kevin Smith.
But I mean, like
Willow Smith.
You can't
Jaden Smith.
go into the whole family.
Jada Pinkett Smith. That other lady that Will Smith married.
Gunsmith. Smith & Wesson.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the same Gunsmith.
Really? Was that his first name?
Hey, Gun! What are you going to do with your life?
I don't know. I know this guy named Bullet Wilson.
Bullet Bill. In the future, there will be a Bullet Bill.
There probably is already a Bullet Bill. I think we're past the generation of people naming each other, or naming their kids after comic, or video game, right? Like, there's probably, like...
We're past it?
Marcus Phoenix. Like, I'm saying, like, the generation that would name their kids Mario or Luigi probably just had kids.
What, are you saying there's people that have named their kids Mario and Luigi?
I am 100% sure that happened.
I need to look that up.
I've heard a lot of people named Link.
Yeah.
Link, Zelda.
Zelda.
I mean, Robin Williams.
Zelda's like a Mexican name, huh?
Yeah.
I've heard Mexican people name
Name
Zelda.
Name one. We're going to use that as the claim. Name one.
Yeah, this Mexican girl I know named Zelda.
Yeah.
Find her on Facebook. Pull her up.
See, that's the
Live
deal.
piece of
We could find any name on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, there's a
I kind
like
of want to see Luigi.
infographic
I don't
today.
have doubts. I just really want to see.
There's a man named Bizao Doodoo Zoppity Bop Bop Bop, and he is on Facebook.
And
There's
he
a
was
guy named
allegedly
Batman
raped.
bin Superman. Like that.
Oh yeah,
Hindu guy
yeah.
or
I've seen
whatever.
his
Is
driver's
it B?
license.
It's the
Yeah.
wrong way. Damn it.
I'm trying to avoid like extreme like
Racial things.
racist like generalizations.
You're really cutting
Not-
down this podcast if you're going to do that.
Not that they're racist, but that they have to do with race, and then immediately people like to throw, well, that's racist. Like, no, I'm just
Damn it.
saying
Damn it,
things
Bobby, damn
generally
it.
about race.
Don't shoot
Right.
me. Don't shoot me. I said don't shoot me.
There are a lot of people chasing after you.
I know.
And
the
you don't
Are you in
have
the
a lot
army
of help.
base? Is that
Yeah,
why?
the truck cut me off.
Well, that's a great start to the. This is all staying in, I assume.
I didn't even know how it
Awesome.
started.
Yeah,
I was
we've-
fine with that.
Yeah. Why does it matter? It's the same
I
thing.
don't know. I thought that it's recorded.
It's no different. So
What are we going to talk about today?
today, we're gonna talk about
Today, I had
the
to-
Avengers.
Sure.
Honestly, like I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna edit this. You just cough right into the mic.
You tap me for no reason too.
Well, I got worried about the soup.
Thanks a lot,
Oh, the
Oscar.
soup.
You freaking. You see this red line on the thing? That's him coughing into the
I've
mic.
seen
Yeah.
red
Yeah,
lines, and
yeah.
every time.
It's him. So today we're
Give me
talking.
a beer too when
we're
you come back.
talking about Avengers and I think what I was
Specifically, Age of Ultron.
right. What I was saying was that I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this one and post this one online. Like this will be our first one.
I dig it.
So despite all the other ones that we said,
We
this is our first
needed
podcast.
practice.
Yeah, like this. I think we'll use some of that stuff. I think it'll be fine, maybe. But this is for sure our first one.
We can use it in our theme song.
Yeah, sure.
Oh god, I'll open it.
Just the Infinity Gauntlet back there.
He has one of those keys.
Well, it's not the Infinity Gauntlet.
It's not. Bring it. You do that every time. Like every time I want to open a bottle. No.
Yeah, don't throw
It's
it.
kinda
Yeah,
heavy.
don't throw it. So anyway, well, this will be the first one we'll post, and yeah, today we were specifically going to talk about Avengers: Age of Ultron, and it comes out in 4 days, and so we wanted to just kind of talk about a little bit about what we're expecting, what we think, just some predictions, things we're excited about, and things like that, and yeah. So that's really it.
I think to get started, we kind of need to establish where we are sitting.
I know. I just noticed. I'm sorry.
First, we need to establish. Do your feet thing before I keep talking.
You got your feet set.
Yes.
Okay. Oscar's playing GTA while we're doing this, so
Yes, he's
stealing cars, taking names.
Let's go
from
fighter jet.
non-raced people.
Yeah, racially neutral.
From a very
people.
Racially ambiguous people, yeah. But no, I was saying I think we need to establish where we are because we all are nerds, but we all come from pretty distinct places of where we're coming into Age of Ultron with our knowledge of basically continuity, the movies, the comics, and stuff like that. So, Oscar, what do you know about the Avengers?
I know very little about the Avengers.
Okay. First
I
question.
need you to.
Are we gonna talk about like our? Well, never mind. I was gonna say our comic knowledge or just.
I think we're
MCU?
going to cover everything
everything,
because
okay.
I was about to say, what movies have you seen, or what Marvel, what MCU stuff have you seen?
MC stuff I've seen.
Like Marvel Cinematic Universe. So have you
Mhm.
seen all the movies?
I've seen all the movies.
Okay. Have you watched any
the
of the TV shows?
TV shows I have not. I have very little interest in them. I feel like they're really great movies. The shows just never piqued my interest.
Not even
and-
Daredevil.
I want to say that I did watch like the first episode of like Agents of Shield,
Mm.
but I really would not even consider that a chance because I just was not interested at all. I do want to see Daredevil. I mean, I've heard more good things about that than
Mhm.
anything else.
Yeah.
So I do want to see that.
Yeah.
That's really most that I know from the Marvel comics.
Okay, well, so you haven't read any comics or
I have
anything
not read
like
any
that?
comics. Anything that I'm saying about comics is what I read off of Wiki.
Solid. Or Reddit.
Reddit.
Uh,
My boy.
How many of the trailers for Age of Ultron specifically have you seen? There's been, I think, like
I think just 2.
3 official trailers, and then the
Like 2
the
teasers
spot
before.
for the Hulkbuster.
See, I haven't watched. I don't know anything about any of those things.
I only watched the teaser and then the Hulkbuster because I heard the Hulkbuster was in it.
So what? I have here how many spoilers do you know, but I don't know if we want to avoid that altogether because I actually don't know.
Is the Hulkbuster considered a
I
spoiler?
don't
Because I
know.
feel like that's a spoiler.
I do know, like, the thing, honestly, the thing that I've been trying to avoid, and I'm, like, deluding myself that I've avoided it, is the images of Vision.
Right, same.
Like, I didn't
No idea.
I didn't want to see him.
I didn't want to see the Vision, and then, like, 2 days after the pictures came out, I scroll down and I, like, get a glimpse of it, and it's, like, all over Instagram and all over everything, and so I was kind of bummed out, but I haven't, like, I haven't analyzed it like I did. I don't know if you saw the Nightcrawler photo they released today. Okay, see, like, I like, stared at that thing, and I was trying to figure out what I liked and didn't like about it, but I didn't do that with Vision. I think that's the only thing, like, spoilerly that I know, because everything else has been, like, in the trailers. Like, I knew about the Hulkbuster, like, first trailer they showed it.
Yeah, at least an image.
Yeah.
And they don't really... So if you don't know the continuity, they didn't really establish, okay, this is Hulkbuster, but...
Yeah.
But they did later on have a spot that was literally a fight between
Hulk and
the Hulkbuster and Hulk.
Like, it was the fight scene
like
from the
they've
movie?
released like 5 minutes of that.
They showed punches.
Okay.
Those were 5 minutes of the fight?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. That's a good lead-in. I've only seen
Few punches were exchanged.
the very early trailers.
Yeah.
And I've caught glimpses of stuff here and there, but those are the only things I've actively searched out. I've seen all the movies. I've kept up to date with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I haven't necessarily watched it, though, because if I had to watch Ward in any more scenes than the ones I already saw him in, I might shoot myself.
You don't like Ward?
I don't like Ward. I just want
pre-Hydra or post-Hydra?
I haven't. I honestly haven't seen any post-Hydra Ward.
Okay,
Who's
dude.
Hydra?
It's
from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, Hydra in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, no, you said a name. Yeah,
Agent Ward.
Who's Agent Ward? I don't know who that
He was
is.
from
He's
Agents of
some
S.H.I.E.L.D. He's one of the guys from Shields. Or Shields. No, from Shield. Yeah.
And he went rogue and became a
Damn it.
Hydra
He's in the way.
person.
Yeah, I guess we should, from here on out, we should preface that it's likely that if you haven't seen anything leading up to Age of Ultron, there will be spoilers. Like,
We'll spoil the movies and the TV shows.
yeah,
Everything up to it
yeah,
will spoil.
yeah,
but
for sure. So if you don't want to know anything, like, because Leanne and I have watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. extensively. Like, we're trying to keep up. Like, when the new episode comes out, we have to watch it before we watch the movie because they tie in. So, like, there's a lot of things I know about the show.
Yeah.
That I, like, detail-wise.
Be able to hear the sirens.
So where were you at? You were saying you haven't watched...
I was saying I haven't watched Agents. I've kept up with it though, and I know what's happening in it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen. No, I haven't watched Daredevil yet, but I don't really think that'll play into it from what it looks like. I have read or have knowledge of quite a bit of Marvel comics, and specifically Age of Ultron. I did not read the Age of Ultron story from like back in like 2005.
Mm-hmm.
I'm aware of Ultron, but I honestly don't know too much about him. But it seems like he's different than what he is in the comics anyway.
Right, because in the
movies.
comics, it's Hank Pym creates him.
Right.
So that's the first thing that's kind of like, yeah, different.
But I have seen all the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some of them multiple times, especially Winter Soldier. I'm very keen on what's happened in there.
Yeah,
But I've seen all of them at least once.
I saw Winter Soldier like 5 times.
Winter Soldier is the best movie they have so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie. But where do you stand with all of it, Jared?
So I've seen all the movies. Yeah,
really,
I've
you've seen all the shows. Too,
I've
at
seen,
this
yeah,
point.
I've watched except Agent Carter. Agent Carter's the only one I haven't watched.
Oh, I completely forgot.
Yeah, and I've heard it's really, really good, but I haven't watched it. But I have watched Agents of Shield, and Leanne and I just finished Daredevil last weekend, and it's with Daredevil. It's exciting just to see some more things. Like Daredevil's based in New York, so it's one of the only things that's dealing with like the aftermath of Avengers, like in depth.
Which Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. looked like it was going to, and then it did.
Well, it did
For like the first 2 episodes.
Right, yeah. The Avengers, it did talk about that stuff, but I think with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like the first season, they were really trying, because it came out after Avengers, didn't it? I think it was after
Yeah,
Avengers,
it came out after
so,
Avengers.
like...
Because the first episode, like, the first thing that happens is somebody finds one of those, like, guns. One of the, like...
That's right, yeah. So I think, like, the thing about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was they were trying to distance themselves as far away from the movies, like not far away, but like obviously like Nick Fury was in episode 1, Maria Hill was in an episode,
Lady Sif was in
Lady
an
Sif's been in
episode.
2. So like but at the same time, like they were still trying to say like, look, this is a thing separate, and I feel like they were playing it really safe with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at the beginning, not wanting to play off of Avengers too much, and to like,
right.
because like then people would expect, oh, it's just a thing after the Avengers. Like, and that's what I told Oscar the last thing we recorded, that when you get into the middle of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the episodes released around Winter Soldier, they did a lot more of what you were expecting to do with Avengers, which was like they played off immensely what happened in Winter Soldier.
Right. And they did it with Thor, but Thor was a very superficial,
Yeah.
attachment.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's good. If they want to keep their intellectual properties separate across different mediums, that's fine. I mean, that's what DC's doing, and that's going great.
Well, see, I don't know if they're keeping them separate. I think that they're just like, because now a lot with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it is actually like being kind of close. I've said this before, like, comic book movies, at least in the MCU, they're really like, they learned how to translate what comic books were doing, which is like, you can read, like, I have Uncanny Avengers and Uncanny X-Men, and it's all like Marvel now, so it's post Avengers versus X-Men, post that storyline. So like they mention things that happened after that, but like they obviously have their own things that are happening. They're separate from each other. And so who is that?
I don't know. It's a mission. It's a taxi cab mission.
Oh, okay. And so Avengers is doing something in the comics, and like they'll point back to like how Cyclops was a jerk in AVX, but like it's not like a huge connection. I feel like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is doing that. Aside from huge, like I think like the movies are like the big events in the comic books. Like movies are like Secret Wars, Avengers versus X-Men. What was the last few that they did? Axis was one that just came out.
And then
Black Vortex was one of the newer ones. But like these big events, or like Infinity Gauntlet, or Infinity, these things that tie into everything. Original Sin.
Right.
That was it.
Oh, yeah, Original Sin, you're right.
So like movies are like those events, and those events affect the smaller properties, and I think that's what the TV shows kind of do.
Yeah.
So, but like in a, not exactly like that, so.
But I think I want to go back and make a distinction on something you said earlier, and it's a small thing, but Marvel at this point has created their own genre.
Yeah.
They've gone above superhero movies. Like your Ghost Rider and Jonah Hex and all of these other comic properties turned into movies are not... They're the Pixar of comic book movies. It's like, yeah, there's computer animated movies, but then there's Pixar.
Oh, like Marvel, the Marvel LLC like production studio is like Pixar.
Right.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so I think that's an important distinction to make, but that's besides the point. So yeah, you're pretty...
I feel like as far as like visual media or like cinematic media, I feel like I have more of that, where you probably have more comic book
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I think we both are about equal with the movies. You've got the TV shows.
Mhm.
I understand the comic books a little better. We both overlap with a lot of that
Yeah.
stuff, and then there's Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar's just there. I mean, which is about it's pretty much the summation of Oscar's presence, I think, in any of the podcasts we do, is it'll just be
For now, until we
Yeah.
talk about
something he enjoys.
Last of Us.
Last of Us, which
See, yeah, I think we will talk about video games
yeah,
and
we
stuff
talk
at
about
some
video
point.
games or Google.
Yeah, Google Fee.
So good.
That's a out of context quote of a different conversation. But Oscar sucks Google. That's all you need to know about that.
Oh man.
You should have used your.
I know. I wish we
ability.
could.
So, okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
So, the actual movie.
Mm-hmm.
What is it about, you think? And me and you haven't seen a lot of the trailers. And Oscar
Uh-huh.
hasn't really, so we're kind of all in the same boat. Like, we know what's happened in the movies previously to this. We have a rough idea of what Ultron is.
Mm-hmm.
What is the plot of this movie?
Yeah, there has been some things that I've heard. It was a Tony Stark. It was a Robert Downey interview. He was sort of explaining, like the thought process behind Tony Stark in the movie in Age of Ultron, and like for him, I think he was saying that part of what it is that he knows that at some point the guys who are the Avengers aren't going to be able to keep doing it in the movie, not
Right.
like reality, which that is also true.
Right.
So he's developing these cyborgs, or these people, Ultron being the first one, to take their spot. And the artificial intelligence is supposed to serve as this kind of replacement for them.
So that's
And-
really interesting, because
Yeah.
that's basically Iron Man 3 was having all of these, like,
It was
Iron
it
Men
was
that
planned.
could run themselves.
Right.
And at the same time, the big beef Captain America had was an artificial intelligence providing justice. I mean, that's what the Triskelions were.
Yeah. Whoa.
They were...
That just like I'm
Yeah.
catching the connection.
And
yeah.
so, Civil War,
Yeah, perfect.
you have your basis.
They're setting
so,
it up perfectly.
So, I mean, I think that would be an interesting, valid assumption.
Yeah.
But then,
I
Aside
didn't
from
think,
that, that's all I know.
right.
because you were saying like Iron Man 3, like all those that he created were like a plan. I thought that was a hobby of him to distract himself.
It was a little bit of both.
Okay.
He was creating the artificial intelligence for it.
I feel like I just assumed it was like kind of like late night sim thing. It's like, what other scenario could I get stuck in? When would I need someone to support
Right, I mean, that's the...
a massive 5,000 ton like crane? Oh, well,
I mean, that's...
I think the big thing to remember in Iron Man 3 was, and it's the thing that people hated most about the movie, was like how Tony centric it was and not Iron Man centric.
Right.
And Tony was dealing with, he almost died. He was dealing with his alcoholism. He was dealing with like
what I like about him.
mortality.
Right.
And so that's why he's thinking, I've got to create something to keep this going on because I'm not going to be here.
Right.
I think I
So-
enjoy those more though. Like I enjoy Tony Stark more than I enjoy Iron
Yeah.
Man.
I
enjoy
agree.
Peter Parker more than I enjoy Spider-Man.
I disagree.
Really.
Peter Parker's necessary for Spider-Man. Like,
I
you can't exclusively enjoy one, because a quippy Spider-Man is only fun when you know that underneath is that really antisocial, awkward, should be Tobey Maguire Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
On a side note, so you say that if you
I
could- if you
believe in Tobey Maguire.
if you could hybrid the two, because I feel like Andrew Garfield was a good Spider-Man,
I feel like Andrew Garfield.
but he wasn't a good Peter Parker.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
how I feel about that. But
Oh, back there.
so I agree that's probably the core Avengers focus. But what about Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver? They've always seemed to me to be this out of left field thing, that they were the out of left field secret ending to Winter Soldier,
Mm-hmm.
and I just don't see, like, thinking about them as characters and what they do thematically for stories, how do they fit into that idea of Ultron?
Okay, this is where Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes in recently.
Fair enough.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is now, like, currently, just to kind of at the risk of spoiling it, what happens is after Hydra, Coulson, right, he's taking over S.H.I.E.L.D., trying to rebuild, but then there's this other group of people that are trying to also rebuild S.H.I.E.L.D. So there's two S.H.I.E.L.D.s. It's Edward James Olmos from Battlestar Galactica. He's building S.H.I.E.L.D., and he wants to control powered people. He wants to make sure that they're put in an index, that they're under control, that they aren't, that we don't partner with them.
That they're registered.
Yes, correct. So Coulson doesn't want it. He's using Deathlock as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent right now, Mike Peterson. So he's like, and they're kind of going at it right now at each other, and so the reason that Edward James Olmos is paranoid about powered people is because he's heard of Hydra people trying to get powered, like Hydra trying to get powered people. So they know that Hydra is trying to do that. Hence Strucker at the end of Winter Soldier essentially creating Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. They're trying to make powered people to essentially rebuild themselves. And so that's where they come in as far as like why they're in the movie. It's probably another angle of Civil War, that powered people should be registered and be governed the same as other people, and all of that stuff. So I think that's where Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver come in as far as the story goes.
So that's really interesting, because if you look at the themes of Avengers, and you look at the first Avengers, and you look at the original Avengers movie, if you look at its themes and you look at what it tried to do, the biggest spiritual sequel among Phase 2 to you came in on a motorcycle.
I didn't think there was going to be that many standing at the post. Sorry.
If you look at it, the biggest spiritual sequel to Avengers was Winter Soldier.
Yes.
And so it's extremely interesting that, given what it looks like, the biggest spiritual sequel to Age of Ultron is going to be Civil War.
Yeah.
And so it tells you a lot about their faith in Chris Evans, really.
Well, I think more, which is weird because when you look like Robert Downey is the poster child for Marvel,
Right.
So I think they're trying to like connect all of the movies to like point them back to Captain America, because honestly, like, we know what happens in Civil War. We know what happens after Civil War.
Right.
And so if we're pointing everything like Avengers back to Winter Soldier, or Winter Soldier back to Avengers, Civil War back to Age of Ultron, those two connecting to each other, and then S.H.I.E.L.D. is really connecting to all of that too. Thor and Iron Man and Hulk and all of those other properties, they're part of it, but really, honestly, Captain America is where those people operate, because Captain America is a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent.
Right.
So they're building up that character really like intelligently, to bring us to the place that happened at the end of Civil War, or in I think Infinity War. I think that's when it's going to happen.
Will Bucky show up in Age of Ultron?
No, I don't think so.
He won't?
No, I don't think so. I want him to. I feel like that would be too much.
It would be too... They're already on the verge of too much.
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting near 8 heroes. And 2 tweeners, I guess, that are heroes and villains. But
Teenagers.
you're getting a huge cast.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, and I mean, that could be the stinger at the end, the Easter egg at the end.
Oh, that would be a waste if they.
It
had
would.
Winter
Oh, totally.
Soldier
Because
be a stinger.
there's
Because
a lot
there's
of things.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
it's not a lot of things.
I don't see
Spider-Man.
See, that's the thing. I don't think Spider-Man's going to be the thing at the end.
And I
of
think if
Avengers.
he's not the thing at the end, that's a huge mistake on Marvel's part.
Has that been confirmed?
It hasn't been confirmed, or not that we know. We're avoiding.
Yeah, I don't know anything like press-wise. I do know, I did see it was a clickbait thing, but it was apparently someone had created a fake
Yeah, it looked terrible.
ending scene that
Yeah.
Spider-Man shows up at the end of the credits of Avengers.
I
But
just saw the one where it was like they did the trailer and
they included him in it. That one was cool. It was
That
on
one fit
Vine.
well,
Yeah, it was
actually.
really good. The Michael Bay scene in Avengers where they're spinning around and he hops into it.
Oh yeah, that one. I thought you were talking about the hopping off of a truck and a motorcycle.
No. No, it was the thing in in Avengers when they all land. It's in the middle of the fight. They have the big scene where they're rotating around all the people. So yeah. What were we talking about?
We were talking about what we think's actually going to happen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so,
what do you think? Like I'm sure you've thought about it a lot.
I think I agree with you. I think, given what they have on the stage, that's the most logical thing to let happen.
Which is
to play. It's a prequel to Civil War.
Okay.
I think I've thought about it character wise of where they're going to end up in the beginning, where they're at in the beginning, where they're going to end up at the end, and I think the main character will be Tony Stark, because I think it will
Age
be
of Ultron.
I think it will be his mistake that
yeah.
he solves. There's not an Iron Man 4 slated, right?
No, there's not. But
So-
he is contracted to do more
He's
films.
contracted,
Yeah.
but I think he'll walk away at the end. I think he'll walk away.
Of the Avengers?
Yeah, I think
At the end of the movie?
I think Iron Man's. He will realize that he needs to walk away, and he shows up in Civil War with his Civil War mindset, saying, "I've thought about it. You know, it'll be a development." But I think Hulk will get shot off to Planet Hulk.
Really?
I think will happen.
I have heard that Age of Ultron is where like the huge like roster change happens.
I think that's
So-
part of it.
Yeah.
I think that that's really the two
You walk out and
big
go back
things that are going to happen. I hope the door
Sort of
closes.
that.
And I think besides that, yeah, I think they're going to get basically the West Coast cast together. That being the West Coast Avengers, which was Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, Vision, Quicksilver. I think there's one more person, but the original
Ant-Man?
West Coast Avengers. Was it Ant-Man?
I don't know though. I would assume because Ant-Man is an Avenger and he was one of the leaders of the Avengers. So
Right. No, I think the West Coast Avengers will show up. There's rumors that Carol Danvers will show up, but I doubt it.
Yeah, that's real because Captain Marvel is like one of the last movies in the lineup, so
Right.
they would have to have her cast.
Right, unless
like
it's Kate
that.
Sackhoff, she's not going to show up.
Yeah. You think Katie Sackhoff would be a good Captain Marvel?
She's the only strong blonde lady I can think of.
Yeah.
That's about my entire criteria.
Honestly, man, like I love the new Miss Marvel stuff they're doing
Oh, me too.
with the Pakistani girl.
Kalala. So it's something, but
Yeah.
she's actually Marvel Girl.
Is it Marvel Girl
It's
now?
Yes.
Marvel Girl, but she it's clearly thematically similar to
Miss
and
Marvel.
she has the same like
Mhm.
logo and all that good
With the
jazz.
quiz.
Well, I
I
thought,
got
I
down on the
thought it
first
was
issue,
like the
actually,
first
so I
issues
gotta-
were Miss Marvel. It was Miss Marvel, I thought.
I don't.
It is Miss Marvel.
Is it Miss
Yeah.
Marvel?
Yeah,
I
have
think
it on
she
my phone.
goes
thought it
by.
was a
I think she
different-
goes
okay.
by Marvel Girl probably, but I don't have the. I wanted to get them, but I'm way behind
It's
now,
on my
so I
phone.
can't get them.
They gave it to me. Google gave it to me for free. I was like, okay. Don't move. I'm loading.
Did his head blow
follow
off?
him. Did he fall down the
It
mountain?
looked like his head blew off.
And so I think those are going to be the big things that happen.
Summer to the Queen.
Oh, nice.
I asked the question: will somebody die in this one?
What was that?
But thinking about it, I think him walking away is going to be the
Yeah.
equivalent. That's a firework.
Or what if like, I
Or
know
an
this is
Epsilon
kind of
prize.
silly, but like, it's just a. Well, talking about long shots. What if they kill one of the twins?
What would you say?
That would be dumb
Oh.
in one way, but in another way, it might be kind of cool. What if he dies by one of the superheroes? And then that plays into. I'm getting way off track, but like, if they kill, like, let's say they kill Quicksilver. That's the one I'm thinking. They kill
They won't
Pietro.
kill Scar- it's probably-
They kill him. Like the Avengers wind up killing him. So she's mad about superhumans, and so then they play from which is an early. It's a really really current story arc, but Scarlet Witch wipes out mutants in the comics, and so maybe
Right.
she becomes one of the people in Civil War that's sort of backing like we've got to get rid of superpowered people. That's a
Or-
long shot.
If they go that route, she would be the person that brought on the Superhero Registration Act. Because remember how Civil War begins with that guy blowing up that town.
That's true. Yeah.
She could be that person.
Mm-hmm.
She will probably be that person. That's a good point to make. Honestly, she's probably going to be the person that does that.
Yeah.
They get pissed at her. That sets up Infinity Wars. If she's an Inhuman, is she an Inhuman?
She is not an Inhuman.
Oh.
She's a created but like in Agents of Shield, they like Hydra's like experimenting on the people who are Inhumans because the whole premise is that they're humans that have now been given like some sort of Kree thing that is dormant until this thing happens. They're awakened, so it could be that they're doing that. But and what's interesting though about all of that is that Hydra's role in that is they're causing the destruction of the Avengers from the inside out, which is kind of cool because they create Scarlet Witch, and maybe their whole plan is to get her to freak out and do
I
that.
think we just figured out the ending. I think that's what's going to happen.
Really?
Like, honestly, I think...
Age of Ultron?
Of Age of Ultron. I think she's going to blow it up. And I think it's going to set up Civil War.
That'd be really cool.
I absolutely think that's what's going to happen. So, we're right in two different ways. But, so...
What do you think, Oscar?
What do you think?
What I think is that I think Captain America and Black Widow are gonna have a thing. It's gonna be nice and great, but then she's gonna have to move, and they break up, and then that Captain America's gonna write letters every day for a year till never mind. I'm thinking of the Notebook. I don't know. I like your theory though.
So...
I'm be mad if you ruined it though.
I think I ruined it for myself. Like...
If it doesn't end
Honestly, I think we're way off. I think
No.
I'm maybe not way off, but I think that
I swear to God.
I think that Marvel has already thought that. Like that's the thing I've always felt
You
about
think
Marvel
Marvel's
movies. Like is that
ahead of us?
I think Marvel. Like we always have these theories. Like people always think of, oh, this would be cool if they did this, and this would be cool if they did this, and then they do something that's like, no, that's not what, you know.
But it's still satisfying.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, those other guys. Don't. He's the guy that's about to get shot. Oh no! Who?
All
I
of them
think
shot me.
you-
I was saving you.
You shot him once. Most interesting character.
So who are you most interested? Who do you think is going to be the most interesting
Or like
character? in
or
Age
even
of
you're
Ultron?
excited to see, like the one that you're like, oh, I think it'd be cool to see.
Well, I think when y'all talking about like what y'all seen and y'all talk about the Hulkbuster, I was gonna in the very beginning because y'all talking about spoilers. Like I felt like that was kind of a spoilerish kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Not spoilers, but or kind of like
I feel like that was
that would've been
something
really
would've
cool
been
if I didn't know about
satisfying to see in the movie. Like
Yeah.
with me and Vision, like to see Vision, I feel like that would have been satisfying to
It's
see.
Darth
in the movie.
Maul's lightsaber.
Mhm.
Yeah. Of course, that drew me into the movie. I wouldn't have gone to see it if I didn't see that guy with the
True,
double bladed lightsaber.
So I guess
so.
it kind of needed to, but I guess I feel like the hype is already there.
Yeah.
Marvel doesn't need to pull in anyone.
Yeah. Not at this point. No.
No,
Subway Pancho.
So your most interesting character is the Hulkbuster, or that's your most interesting dynamic. You'd say,
Scene,
yeah,
I
like
guess.
the
So
fact
the
that
Hulk,
they're
the Hulk
antagonistic.
fight.
Yes, and what leads up to it and everything really.
Okay.
Because I want to know like what caused it. I generally like I don't know. In my head, I just kind of imagine like someone close to the Hulk or like Bruce Banner dies and he just kind of loses it.
I don't know.
I don't know like what.
The only person he'd be close to is Black Widow.
Or Tony Stark.
Yeah, it's
Well,
true.
who was his love interest in like in general? Like,
Liv
comic-wise?
Tyler.
Yeah, who was Liv
Betsy
Tyler?
Ross, wasn't it?
Yeah, and honestly, General Ross is MCU continuity. He showed up in The Incredible Hulk. Like
Yeah.
Tony Stark talks to General Ross.
Yeah, he does, huh?
Run, I'm shooting at you. So I feel like that.
But that would be a lot of like having to establish
Right.
that he,
right.
you know, all
They
of that.
would have brought him back earlier if they were
Right.
going to do something like that.
Right.
So I don't think anything would happen to Black Widow. I guess another thing would be him being betrayed again. I guess.
My biggest question is it going to happen at the beginning of the movie or the end?
The Hulkbuster. I think
Right.
it's the beginning. I think
And
they're
that's what I
saving the
think,
best
too.
thing for the end. That there's something bigger that we don't know, that we haven't seen, or at least I haven't seen in the trailers, that is going to happen in the movie.
Yeah.
That is bigger than the Hulkbuster fight.
Yeah.
which is saying a lot because that's a cool thing.
Yeah,
I think what happens is Hulk, because they've shown scenes. I have seen this where Scarlet Witch, she like controls people's minds, like she places thoughts in people's minds. That she's controlling Hulk, which is what we thought they were going to do with Hulk in Avengers with
that's
Loki.
true.
You think Scarlet Witch is going to set him off?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen.
Okay. I actually kind of like that more. Because I really don't want to see him cry.
So, yeah.
I love Ruffalo.
I think I'm most interested in Captain America because he really came to an event horizon in Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to develop himself as a character, and I think it'll be interesting to see how his development as a character will lead into his interactions with the other Avengers, i.e. Civil War. I'm really excited about Civil War.
Yeah. So, like,
That
what,
too, yeah. Really,
like
that's
what
I really want.
a lot of people were excited about Guardians as being a bridge to Infinity War.
Right.
And then it wound up really not being that, per se. Like, would you say that Age of Ultron is a bridge to Civil War?
Yeah.
For you?
Yeah, I think...
Like, it's going to be a good movie, but you're really more interested in the thing that's following it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I want to agree with that too, because I'm really more excited about the idea of Civil War.
Yeah. I think that because that was such a huge story arc. It was such a huge thing.
Well, that was... I mean, even in the beginning, when they announced, like, at 2000... It was either 2012 or 2013 Comic-Con where they just had, like, Age of Ultron. And I was like, really? That's what you're going with for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I've continued on that course. Like, I've never felt like, okay, I feel like this is justified. Like, up to Winter Soldier, I'm like, why are they doing Age of Ultron?
Yeah.
And so, the way you explained it earlier, I really kind of enjoy it now more, and I see it now more, but...
Yeah, I think otherwise, because it doesn't... Here's probably the thing is, for you, your understanding of Ultron is... your understanding of Ultron is Hank Pym.
Right.
And
right.
It doesn't make sense, because Hank Pym's not even a thought yet, really.
Right.
I mean, has a movie. Well, he doesn't have a movie. That's another thing I want to talk about at some point, is why the crap they didn't do a Hank Pym movie and did Scott Lang. But anyway.
It's...
Who's Hank Pym?
Ant-Man.
The original Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And Paul Rudd's playing a different Ant-Man.
Yeah. So
But Paul Rudd's cool.
Paul Rudd is awesome. I'm stoked about Paul Rudd. If Paul Rudd's listening, I want to be your friend.
And would you like to be interviewed on our podcast?
Yeah, that'd be
Paul
awesome.
Rudd's listening. Give me a lot of money.
So,
Paul Rudd,
but I
introduce me
think,
to Mark Ruffalo.
yeah, you have you have an understanding of Ultron with Hank Pym. So when they announced Ultron, you're just like, well, okay. Really, all we had to go from there was that we knew Ultron was one of the harder villains for the Avengers.
Right.
Which is what a lot of people wanted from the beginning. They wanted to see Ultron, and it just didn't make sense at the time. But with everything that's happened leading up to Age of Ultron with Tony Stark,
It marginally makes
yeah,
sense.
it makes it better. I think James Spader is a perfect.
James Spader's
Yeah.
fine. I
Yeah.
mean, put James Spader in there out of context. Like, put James Spader as the villain in the Avengers. Like, I would enjoy that more.
Yeah.
With David Spade.
So you're not really excited about the Ultron stuff of the movie, but everything else leading to it.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't sold me on Ultron. It's not that I'm not excited.
Yeah.
Where they've really bought me out of Batman v Superman. They haven't sold me on Ultron.
Okay.
But I trust them enough
Yeah.
to be like, okay, I'll go for the ride.
Yeah.
Of all the universes, I think I'm more interested in seeing things happen with X-Men. Because I was about to talk about Apocalypse, because I thought that was really interesting.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I know very little about X-Men, and then we're talking about all these Marvel universes. Because X-Men is Marvel, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I have...
And I know they don't, because they're calling them Inhumans now and everything.
Right.
Well, the mutants are still a thing, and X-Men is still they're doing their own thing, but like you won't
They'll
see
never
any
merge.
X-Men that are in the MCU right now.
That's what I would love to see, but at
Yeah,
that
yeah.
same point, that's why I'm kind of like,
I think in 5 years, maybe
ugh.
Less.
closer to the end.
3 years.
I think they'll make agreements, but
In 3 years.
I
but-
think in 5 years Marvel will reacquire X-Men.
Yeah.
I think Fox won't have any other
Maybe
ideas,
markets.
but to do a reboot, and it'll flop, and then
Agreed.
yeah. So
Sorry, that was very.
I mean, that's
awful.
what I feel like with Fantastic Four. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, Fantastic
I mean, it looks
Four is
looks
just-
great, and I think it'll be
It looks
good.
interesting.
It'll be good. It'll be
Interesting.
entertaining, but it won't be what we want. You know what I mean?
I think it's what did we talk about yesterday that was interesting?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
Thought-
yeah, the
Oh,
Joker.
God.
It's
yeah.
I think of the Fantastic Four reboot the same way I think about the Joker. I think it's interesting, and it's gonna be something we'd never expect.
Yeah.
Someone had a GIF on Reddit where they're talking about, like, when I read news articles about the Jared Leto Joker as being terrifying and nightmare-inducing, and they have J. Jonah Jameson, like, laughing.
Yeah.
And they're like, are you serious? I don't. And then someone commented, they're saying, like, Jared Leto's Joker doesn't look like a Joker, but like a meth addict that's like obsessed with Joker.
I could see that. Yeah.
Because I really didn't. I thought I was like, it doesn't
Yeah.
look good.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were the bike. You were that person.
But so what were we? You were gonna say something.
Oh, the only last thing I wanted to say before we moved on to something different was definitively, one at a time. What do you think's the secret ending?
Oh, do you think Spider-Man's gonna be a secret ending, or
He's
Well,
asking
I'll
you
do
what
that
you
whenever
think.
it's my turn.
He asks what you think.
Okay, because I would kind of I feel like it'd be something Spider-Man related.
You think Spider-Man? Because I think Spider-Man too.
Because when you said that, I was like, that's true.
Like I don't.
I'll think of something
know-
differently. Let me think of something else.
Okay, so Jeremy, what do you think it'll be?
See the fact that you guys say that, like, part of me
Because I'll
wants,
explain my reasoning whenever it gets to me.
part of me wants to think that it's too soon. Like they just announced, you know, it feels like that Spider-Man's part of the MCU. So part of me is like, I don't think they would do it, but at the same time, like, sure, I mean, it would be wise to. So aside from that, like, I honestly can't think. I mean, what's coming up next? Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Black Panther? Is Black Panther next year?
I think he's Phase 4, maybe. He might be Phase 3.
Well, Ant-Man finishes Phase 3, so
Phase 2. We're in Phase 2 right now.
No, well then everything after Ant-Man is all Phase 3,
Right.
up to Infinity War.
Right.
Black Panther is
Oh.
before Infinity
okay,
War.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think all that's Phase 3.
Oh, you're so lucky.
So, I don't know. I guess, like, if they do a Spider-Man thing, I think what they'll do is they'll... what I think would be cool is if they did the origin of Spider-Man in the ending scene. And they show you who they cast as Peter Parker. They show him walk into a museum, get bit by a spider, and that's how it ends, is a spider on his hand biting him. And that's the end.
I feel like we
You don't
need
actually
to
see the...
explain that anymore,
You don't
though.
actually see the suit. But it'd be a really smart way to show who they cast as Peter Parker.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a different Spider-Man. I forgot about that.
It'll be some scrawny white dude. It's going to end with Spider-Man. And I'll explain why.
Jesse Eisenberg will be Lex Luthor and Spider-Man.
So, and it'll end with him in the suit.
Oh shit.
I'll explain that first. It'll end with him in the suit. Because they had footage of Ant-Man before they cast Ant-Man.
That's true.
Oh, God.
It'll have him in the suit so they can just have somebody in the suit. It's going to be Spider-Man because Marvel Studios is a comic book company making movies. Anytime you introduce a big character change or a big character, when do you do it? At the climax of the big event. Avengers, Infinity War, all the big ensemble ones are events. They are the event comics, like you're saying, of the movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so, being a comic book company, they're not going to miss out on the event, on the opportunity. If they, you're saying it's too soon. If they had enough time, they would put him in Ultron.
Really?
They would, even if they barely got him in, they would put him in Ultron after making that deal. I think he might be in Ultron because they might not have talked about the deal until way after it was done.
Mm-hmm.
But I know he's going to be the secret ending because they won't skip on that opportunity, and there's not a viable other
There's no
secret ending to
alternative.
do. There's,
Well, and that is true because you look at Avengers. The end of Avengers is Thanos.
right.
They show Thanos,
Oh.
and if we're running with the thought that Captain America is the next big thing of the movies, then Winter Soldier revealed Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and
One of the Marvel movies, they were working on the secret ending the week of its release.
really,
That
It was the shawarma one. I thought. It was
No, what was it? The shawarma
I thought
one?
they filmed that like the
They
day
did the
before.
post credit, not mid credit.
So
That's the other thing.
Is
There's
this your first
two.
German?
There will probably be two: a mid credit and post credit.
mid credits the secret superhero registration. End credit is Spider-Man.
Oh, you're asking a lot out of me. No, I can't do both.
No, the mid scene will be them verbally saying superhero registration act.
Kind of like the Iron Man. I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers.
The Avengers. You're putting the word on the event. So that's going to be the.
On your Corvette. And then I crashed it.
So that's going to be the mid ending. But
Did you buy a Corvette?
A coquette.
You know what I mean.
I think I stole one and stored it in my garage. Was it in the impound? Okay.
so let's wrap up Avengers and then Soup, and then if we want to talk about X-Men, we can talk about.
Oh,
Yeah, because we're at 50 minutes.
That's good.
my ending. Robert Downey Jr. goes to see his uncle. It's his birthday. Meeting a lot of friends. You find out he has a ring. Okay?
Okay,
And he gives it to you.
as the viewer,
He gives it to Tony Stark.
okay, so
Okay.
not us.
Yeah, Tony Stark, sorry. And then he has to take it cross country, and he has like the jetpacks, he can do it. But then there's a lot of Nazguls in the air. I can't do it.
Were you running with a Lord of the Rings thing?
No, it's the other Nazgul ring inspired property. Were you about to mention Sarah Jessica Parker, or were you going to mention Frodo Baggins?
No, you don't
There's
get to ride a
only
horse.
2 rings.
You don't get to ride a horse on this one, so Sarah Jessica Parker's not in this one.
Wait, hold on.
She looks like a horse.
One of us is thinking about the wrong person. Who's the lady in the ring?
She wasn't the
Jessica
ring girl?
Yeah, in the American Ring Girl. Who's the blonde lady?
Oh.
Just... Well,
Sarah
pick this up on the
Jessica
X-Men
Parker.
one.
Yeah.
No.
I don't
Sarah Jessica
Well-
Parker's not in it.
I don't
So,
remember, dude.
okay,
Jessica.
so Avengers will be good, but I don't think anybody really has a grasp on what it...
Oscar died like 10 times this whole time
That
we've been recording.
pine tree came out of nowhere.
That means he's died twice every 10 minutes.
Dude, solid.
I died like 5 times. So.
Okay, so in summation, like, Avengers predictions, Tony Stark will leave because he realizes how dumb he was. Hulk will be sent to Planet Hulk. We think Scarlet Witch is going to instigate the Civil War and Superhero Registration Act. We think Spider-Man's going to be the post-credit scene. We didn't even talk about Thor. Or, like, for me, I didn't get to
If
say
you
this.
watch either of the Thor movies, we don't need to talk about Thor.
I hate
Thor is the most in continuity but farthest removed from continuity character of the entire Avengers.
Really? I really
Besides
I liked,
Hawkeye.
I liked Thor. I did
I
read,
love him.
I did read that I was going to say this. The thing I'm excited about, the interesting character I'm excited about is Hawkeye. Because I read that Joss Whedon asked that Jeremy Renner wouldn't be cast in any of the movies leading up to Avengers because he had huge plans for Hawkeye in Avengers Age of Ultron.
So, West Coast Avengers. That's it.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the West Coast Avengers in the comics. He's going to start it. in
That'd be
this.
so awesome because
I don't
Hawkeye
know
is
if he's that good of
amazing.
an leader, though.
I think he can be. I think he will be.
Honestly, he's the closest, like, Captain America parallel.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Like him and Black Widow put together.
But he's so arrogant.
Is he?
Well, I guess he was in the beginning and he learned his lesson.
Was he?
In the first movie.
In
His
Thor,
first-
he was.
Remember?
Oh, well, yeah.
That's what's just
Again,
stuck in
I
my
forget Thor because
why I
it
just-
has nothing to do with continuity
Yeah.
and everything to do with the naked Alexander.
head. Wasn't there a
Skarsgård,
deleted
right?
scene
The old
or
guy?
sorry, or a deleted scene, or maybe it was just someone's like kind of like really like I wish this happened, but they were saying like as Thor's father was dying, he actually let Loki leave because his son was just like Thor was just too arrogant,
And then Thor.
he didn't believe him, and they were just saying like that wouldn't that have been a much more interesting story?
I don't remember.
don't
I've
know.
heard that, but I
Because
don't
Loki's
think
a little
it's
bit
an
smarter, and a
actual-
little bit more.
Yeah, we're not
cool-headed.
even talking about the fact that Odin is apparently, like, Loki's running Asgard right
It's
now.
not gonna.
I don't
If
know.
they
Thor
have
Ragnarok,
anything
that's
to
what's gonna
do
happen
with
with
Ragnarok in here, or if there's no room for Thor.
There really isn't. As far as, like, his big story.
He's
Right.
Braun right now. He's
Yeah.
just like we ran out of you. You're gonna be
Yeah.
gone for this one.
So, that's what's difficult with Thor. Okay, so Spider-Man at the end. I'm excited about Hawkeye. Scarlet Witch starts the Superhero Registration Act because she does something. Tony Stark is going to leave the Avengers.
And Hawkeye's going to start the West
Hawkeye's
Coast
gonna leave.
Avengers.
You should make a list of these things and see how
What?
good y'all are.
Yeah, let's do that.
We're recording a podcast for that reason.
Well, a list.
That's the
Not-
purpose of this thing.
Don't
For
get
those
so-
that don't know, we're going to do
not
this.
Get
and
so
then Saturday-
pissy with me. I'm saying make a list. You're not gonna be like, hey, let's listen to that audio again. Why don't you just look at a fucking list? Oh my god.
And then Saturday, we're going to talk about how
right.
right or wrong we were. And
Okay, so Tony Stark leaves
I'm
Avengers.
taking a piss because it's stupid that we're doing this twice.
Sorry. Okay,
I wasn't saying make a list on the audio. Right.
so he leaves Avengers. Shane. Hey, Shane.
Shane, you gonna go pee?
See you later.
Good luck.
Shane hates eye contact when he's peeing, like right before he goes in the bathroom. What
Do you
else
have a good constant stream, or does it kind of break every once in a while? It sounds constant. I think it might be better off just to cut this off.
Well, this was funnier
Oh, okay.
because he's going to the bathroom and we
You
make
can
fun of him
hear
for it. Yeah.
the trickle
Yeah.
coming out of his.
I did.
You have audio of that?
No, I saved all the other ones we recorded. Anything TVMA, I beep out, but like things like that they do say on Comedy Central, I've left in.
I think I sound pretty amazing if I was bleep though.
Yeah, so I've done
Makes me
bleeps.
funnier.
So,
You can add your own personal.
well, that's
Chris.
it.
It's like
As far as Avengers go, so
Do you know
predictions
how to
made-
do bleeps?
Yeah, I can do it on here. I did
Oscar,
some.
you're
Bleeps are
bleeps
funny.
are hilarious.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, that's it. So,
Thank you for watching.
listening.
Sirrah,
Thanks
let's
for
play.
watching us with your ears.
enjoy your burrito.
Night and good luck.
Stay classy.
Cunningless. Fingers.
So that was that. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had some laughs. I'm glad that you made it this far. You stuck with us through the whole episode. I did actually put in my phone our predictions of what we think's happened. So we think Tony Stark's not going to be in the Avengers anymore. That's kind of a big deal and kind of scary and not really sure what to expect from that. We think Hulk's going to get shipped off into space and that's really cool and go to Planet Hulk. There's this whole story arc with that. We think Scarlet Witch, we actually came to the conclusion in the middle of the podcast that Scarlet Witch might be the reason that Civil War begins. She flips out and does something and causes that to happen. Shane is convinced that Spider-Man is going to be the post-credit scene at the end of Avengers, Age of Ultron. And then also I talked about Bucky and how I don't think he'll be in the movie as much as I want him to, and my excitement for Hawkeye. So, what do you think from everything that we said? You know, do you think those predictions are valid? Do you have some other ideas about what's going to happen in the movie? You only have a few days to comment, so obviously, hopefully you're listening to this, I think, Wednesday. If you're listening to this on YouTube, just like, comment, subscribe to our channel. If you're listening to this on Podbean, I think you can comment on Podbean through Facebook, but share this with your friends, people who like comic books, and let's get a conversation going. We want to do that, and we'll do our very best to reply to all the comments and continue this conversation in the message boards. I don't know if they call them that anymore. So, also, Paul Rudd, if you're listening, I love you, and I hope that you take our invitation to interview you seriously. But if not, it is okay. I will cry, and that will be that. So, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the 2Thirds podcast. Again, please comment, and go see Avengers this weekend, and go enjoy a movie with your friends. It's always a really fun thing to do. We will see you, well, we won't see you, but hopefully we will meet again in the interwebs very soon. So that is it. So I'm going to sign off, or actually just click stop on the recording, and we'll talk again soon. So bye. Bye doesn't sound very nice, at least the way I say it. Adios, muchachos. That's better. I think that works.